So I just went to college, got a job, worked for 10 years at a corporation, climbed the corporate hierarchy. My particular strategy, I just want to make really good content. So I did what every mom and dad wants to hear their kids say. I quit my adult job to sit in my basement and play video games all day. Worked beautifully for me, but I had a nest egg reserved where I could afford to make nothing for an extended period of time and not be completely bankrupt. So, Twitch's strategies on this, I think, have changed over the years.
Which game would you choose as the base, and which important mechanic would you choose from the other games to put into it?
Had severe medical issue. We rushed him to the ER, and we've literally been sitting in the waiting room for multiple days.
What's your philosophy on building long-term loyalty? What makes people stick around for years instead of just weeks?
And then you have to deal with the emotional stress. People will insult constantly, all the time. I mean, maybe you get that if you work at a call center or or retail. You can get that in other jobs as well, but you will get it consistently all the time. Also, when you're self-employed, any self-employed person will understand that your income and your success is directly correlated to how hard you work.
Like, it knows exactly how it works, and she's been doing, this might creep you out a little bit, but she's been doing deep research on yourself for a few days. So,
Is she gonna predict my future?
This is the card of walking away, of turning your back on something that once meant everything but now no longer fits. This is the hardest kind of decision, not about failure, but about evolution. He's not trying to destroy what he built. He's trying to find freedom inside of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pro Gamers Journal, broadcasting live from the Crimson Loot Carnival, where every single hour, players jump into custom-built mini-games for a shot at winning real loot. We've already given away over 4,000 USD, and we're only just getting started. But today isn't just about prizes, it's about perspective. Our guest is one of the most consistent and respected voices in the ARPG space. He's streamed over every single day for years, built an audience through relentless dedication, and helped tens of thousands of players sharpen their skills and strategies. If you're chasing growth as a gamer, a creator, or a competitor, this episode is packed with insights you won't hear anywhere else. Please give it up for the one and only Raxxanterax. Okay.
I hear crickets. Not surprising.
All right. So, Rax, you've been live every day for years, right? What made you first hit go live, and what's kept you going through all the ups and downs?
Well, I I always wanted to do stuff in gaming, and I loved it since I was a little kid. My favorite hobby by far. And when I was 18 years old, actually one of my friends, Kirk, told me, "You should be a streamer, Ryan." And I vaguely looked into it, and it really wasn't a thing. It wasn't a way that you could make an income at all. So I just went to college, got a job, worked for 10 years at a corporation, climbed the corporate hierarchy. And then I saw that there was this massive um, outburst of streamers that were being very successful. And I was like, God, that's the thing that I wanted to do the most. So I did what every mom and dad wants to hear their kids say. I quit my adult job to sit in my basement and play video games all day. Um, I just growing up in my neighborhoods, all of my friends, quote unquote, loved video games. But how I felt about them was something far beyond that. It was like a passion or whatever you would call it. So what keeps me going and the reason why I hit go live is this is really what I always wanted to do. The moment that I thought that I could pay my bills and just eat ramen noodles, if I could do this all day, I knew I was gonna do it. So that's where it all started, I guess.
Okay, interesting. What was the job, if you don't mind me asking? The one you climbed the corporate ladder of?
So I started at Nationwide Insurance as at the bottom of the barrel. I started as a processor, and then I moved into IT, then I became a project manager, then I became an underwriter, then I was an actuary, and then I was an actuarial trainer, and then I finished in the product department. So I worked, in a lot of different jobs at Nationwide.
Okay, and basically ramen noodles gave you the power to become a streamer.
That's pretty much it. People are saying there's might be something off with the mic.
Okay. So it's whose audio is it? Are we talking about Rax's audio being bad or ours?
I'm pretty sure it's mine. Let me move my mic further away from me.
Did you choose the right mic? You sure it's not going from your webcam or something like this?
I'm pretty sure it's the right mic. Does it sound better now that I moved the mic further away?
To me, it's actually not that bad.
Some kind of noise gate is too high. Okay. It's sounding better to me now, now that I've adjusted the mic. Okay, okay.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
stay
let's
close
let's
to the
go with this.
microphone. We're not going to have it perfect, all right? And this is not the last time we're doing this, so we'll work on everything. But the way Rax is streaming as well is through our own software that we've made that's allowing us to actually bring him in this more dynamic way, right? So just bear with it, please, guys. Let's just move on to the next question, right? And, so when you became a Twitch partner, the Twitch staff surprised you with a live raid, and you've called it overwhelming and pretty epic. Do you mind walking us through that moment and what it meant to you?
Yeah, so Twitch's strategies on this, I think, have changed over the years. Um, I I did not start streaming with the intention of doing it casually. I didn't start streaming with the intention of trying to make a bunch of money. I started doing it just because I just love video games. So I knew how dedicated I was, but Twitch themselves, they have to judge me like they judge everybody else. And back then, their motto was to decline almost everybody who would apply for being a partner just to see how hungry they were. So I kept trying to convey in my applications, like, "You're not gonna get rid of me. I'm frying. You might as well just give me a partner now, and, we can skip the formalities," but they still declined me twice until this moment. Um, and then, when it finally happened, it was, like, kind of a moment where I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I actually really am doing this." I got through the tough part. It took me about 6 months, but they finally made me a partner. They're finally starting to take me seriously, and, just made me feel really good, and back then, you, finally unlocked a bunch of emotes, so honestly, it was a way for me to give something back to my community for achieving it, so that was kind of like the cherry on top.
Okay, beautiful. So if you could just move your microphone so it's facing directly into you from the right-hand side, maybe it will fix it.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
we'll
actually
try it
much
like
better.
this.
Yeah, that's a lot better. And just try speak directly into it. Um, okay. So interesting. So you actually struggled quite a bit to become a partner in the first place, and I guess you were just very persistent with it, and then that kind of worked out in the end. Hmm. Okay. Well, we all love highlights, right? But streaming every day isn't easy. You've streamed through sickness and burnout without breaking stride. How do you mentally and physically push through on hard days, and do you ever consider taking breaks?
Um, so the sickness thing is really it's really no different from anybody else with a job, right? Like if you're sick, I mean, I guess people usually have sick days, but I guess even when I worked my other jobs, if I was sick, I just went to work anyway. So that was nothing different. The burnout is I think that's something very common that a lot of streamers get. I don't experience this so much just because I genuinely love interacting with people and I love playing games. I can still play games all day. There must be something wrong with my brain, but as long as I can play a couple of different games, like I played Diablo 3 for 4 straight years, that was tough. But now that we've got all these different games, No Rest for the Wicked, Last Epoch, we've got PoE, we've got all these great games. That's not a problem at all. I'll tell you the thing that really does bother me lately is the technical side of it, right? It's like we're trying to diagnose here, we're trying to solve microphones and webcams. I've had so many PC and software and Windows issues that this is the part that is probably the most disheartening to me and the thing that bothers me the most, and I don't know, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is for every streamer, it would be something different. Most people would, like, burn out or be, like, really offended by people saying mean things, where that doesn't apply to me at all. It's just when my computer doesn't work, when you spent the entire night, the previous night, trying to make it work, that's what drives me crazy. Do I ever consider taking breaks? I thought about it today when I had a mental breakdown when once again my stream just keeps disconnecting, but in the general sense of that question, no. I said I would stream every day for 10 years. People make commitments all the time that they never have any intention of honoring, and I'm not the kind of person that wants to break my promises once I've made them.
Very interesting. And yeah, I agree with you. For me, definitely the challenges are all technical related pretty much. If the computer's not working properly or the internet, and in my case, I'm kind of making my stream quite complicated. Um, Interesting. So, can you tap the mic as well? Just tap it with your hand. Yeah, I don't think you're on the. Oh, wait. Tap it a bit more, a bit harder. I just want to know that that's the mic that's actually coming through. Yeah, okay, I think it is. It's okay. We'll just deal with it, all right?
I can
So,
try if I can it'll let me try one thing here. There, I just switched it. Is that any better or worse? La 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 la, I'm talking better or worse?
I think it's probably the same. To me, it
Or
actually
is it
sounds pretty good. You're just cutting out like here and there, I guess. But I don't know how it sounds through my stream. It could be worse, right? Anyway, we'll just try to talk as clearly as possible, and we'll get through the segment and see how we go. So let's lead it into this. You've told newer streamers not to stress over numbers. How did you personally just stop caring about the metrics?
So, the so I have a degree in math. That's what I studied. So I am a math and a stats guy. So you would think logically that I, as you said, obsess over numbers, da 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 da. But you know me better than that, and I actually don't. And I really never look at them. And the reason why I don't look at them 'cause they don't matter. They have nothing to do with anything. The only thing that matters is trying to make good content, and I have talked to a lot of streamers over the years who just either wanna have a casual conversation or might be asking for advice or this or that, and this is one of the first things that I always tell them, and they always say, without exception, I don't think there's been one person who hasn't, that every day they're obsessing over, "I got 7 follows this stream, but I got 12 follows the previous stream. Like, why did that happen?" And it's all these distractions, it's all these variables that I think really distract people from what is really at hand. You will be the most famous, godly, $20 billion a year streamer if you just make the best content. If you just make the best content, you will win. If you have the best personality, if you're the funniest, if you're the best player, if you make the best guides, if you can literally just do it all, then you will win no matter what. And people focus way too much on all these little tiny variables that they oftentimes can't control rather than how good is your content. And that's why I never looked at these stats because looking at them never helped me accomplish anything.
Very interesting. Okay, and let's zoom out a little bit then. How would you define your brand in one sentence today? How has it changed since you first started?
So I actually completely changed. So when I first started streaming, I was under the impression that no one would care about me as a content creator or any of my content or my stream unless I was the rank 1 player. If I couldn't get first, why would anybody bother watching that stream? What I learned, over the course of time is it matters way more how you make people feel when they're in your stream. If you have a good relationship with them, if you make jokes, if you play music that they like, it's just so much more important to them than if they couldn't care less what your position is on a leaderboard. And one thing that I tell people is if you wanna be a streamer, you have to carve out your own little niche where you belong, where you excel in. And I'm not saying that I excel in this, but the brand of my stream is definitely teaching. I will make you guides. I will teach you how do you go through this game easily? How do you farm in the end game? What is a really good build to make, and how does it work in five-year-old terms? That is definitely the main brand of my stream. I will teach you how to get through games.
Amazing. All right, well, let's talk about games then. So, Diablo was a big part of your rise, but you've moved into games like Path of Exile 2 and Last Epoch. What sparked that transition and how has it changed your approach to content?
Yeah, so the famous saying in streaming is variety is the death of all streamers, right? People play something, they get known for it, they try to branch out to something else, and then their stream dies. That's just the life cycle of how it goes. Very few people can get past it. What ended up happening is Diablo was out for a long time, and almost everybody left except for, like, me and Woody. We're, like, the only people left. It's like a graveyard out there. And then I had a sponsorship to play Starfield, and Starfield did not go over well. People did not like it. So when I got done playing Starfield, I was sitting there, firing up my stream the following day, and I was like, "You wanna know what? I'm gonna do something that no one would ever expect me to do, including myself. I'm gonna fire up a Last Epoch stream because Last Epoch was in early access. and Maxwell was making a branch for it. And people told me it was a good game, but I knew nothing about it. I said, "You wanna know what? I'm not gonna go back to Diablo. I'm just gonna fire up Last Epoch, and this is probably the death of my stream." When I fired up the stream, I just saw a machine gun tidal wave of people saying, "Oh my god, thank God Raxx didn't go back to Diablo. Let's watch Last Epoch." My numbers actually, instead of going down, they doubled or something. The amount of people that came to my stream that day that were just begging me to play something other than Diablo 4 was insane. So, and then all the devs came in my stream and they were like, "Rax, you're playing Last Epoch. We're here to watch. Let's see what you got." I'm like, "Okay, the devs are here. Chat is here. Way more people are here. Okay, let's play." Since that was a very positive experience, I told people that I would try PoE in the next launch. People are like, "Rax, don't play PoE. The community is going to be so toxic toward you. They're going to hate you. Da 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 da." They're like, "They're pieces of shit. You don't want to PoE." I was like, "Guys, it can't really be that bad, can it?" I started in PoE, almost everybody was nice to me. I literally fired a stream said, "Guys, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to play. Will you help me?" The amount of people that helped me versus the amount of people that were toxic toward me was, was, v very much in my favor. So the community was way, way better than anyone would have led me to believe. And in PoE, I found it to be extremely fun, and I got super lucky. I found all the greatest drops ever, and then I made a beginner's guide from the perspective of a beginner. And I said, "Listen, guys, I didn't even know how to play a month ago, but now I'm in the end game with four four mirrors worth of gear. I know enough to at least get you started in the game." And that video got like 500,000 views. It's one of my most famous videos ever. So at that point, I was like, all right, I don't know why, but at least within the ARPG genre, not only are people okay with me playing other games, they actually want me to play other games. That's what they've been telling me. So actually, I got very lucky and my numbers grew, but it wasn't like some planned strategic thing. It was literally I got a sponsorship that moved me off of Diablo, and I just couldn't play another hour of Diablo, so I just YOLO'd playing Last Epoch, and from there it just works. So I guess it's just pure luck.
Okay, that's understandable. So, a lot of creators will actually want to take a lot of notes on what you were just explaining, and I think it answers probably half of the next question, actually. Um, so, when a new ARPG or game does drop, so, PoE 2 and Last Epoch, as you were just mentioning, what's your process exactly for mastering it quickly so you can create that useful content that you were speaking about before that's so important before anybody else?
So I would say the probably ironically, probably the number one way that I gain information is from chat, actually. So a lot of the people that watch my stream are diehard ARPG enjoyers, and a lot of them are quite smart, and a lot of them are great players. A lot of them just they follow things that I don't. They're, like, on Twitter, they're on the official forums, they're watching other streamers' streams, and a lot of them, their ability to absorb information, like, all of them versus my ability as one individual is they just completely outclass me. So, I can do I mean, I've done this a million times. I can play any game on any patch. There's never been a video game that I couldn't beat. So that's gonna happen. I'm gonna beat everything. But all these little, like, fine details which come across in my guides, I actually learned a lot of it from chat along the way. Like, I got through, like, 4 acts of the 6th in PoE 2 before someone told me, "Rax, you're supposed to be smashing the gear with the sockets at a different bench." I didn't even know there was a second bench until Act 4. Probably wouldn't have found it for a while if someone in chat hadn't told me. And so part of that is also um, being able to listen to chat, right? There's a lot of streamers that I watch that they genuinely view their chat as a bunch of, like, dumb monkeys that are just there to give them their Twitch primes. But, actually, the people that have been in my chat for a long time really mean a lot to me, not just from the funny jokes that they make and hanging out, but they actually teach me more about the game than I can probably gather in one full playthrough. And, the reason why I get these videos out before other people is because it's 100% of my focus. We talked about earlier about branding. I Every single league, I could have 700 mirrors appear if I just sit there and just blast the most efficient broken thing. I could have the greatest gear ever. But what I never do that. You wanna know why? Because the second I've figured out a build guide that's really good and I've made it, I usually go figure out something. I usually go do something else where I can make content on it, not because I'm trying to pay the bills, but because people are genuinely asking these questions. I read the YouTube comments. I see the questions that people have in my chat that I can't answer. And if I can't answer it, that's unacceptable. I have to go play it and figure it out. So how do I make it work? Chat helps me a lot, and it's just the focus of my stream. It's the focus on what I do. That's how we get it done.
Okay, yeah, I do remember you mentioning that if people just listen, then usually things end up working out. I think you were talking about Blizzard at that point. It was one of your streams a couple of days ago that I was taking a look at. But anyway, let's shift to your community for a second. Has there ever been a moment where a fan reacted to something you said or did in a way that totally surprised you, good or bad?
The first thing that comes to mind there, kind of like a tear-jerking story, I guess. I was, uh, I was starting one of it was very early. This is very early in my streaming career, but it was like the second start of a Diablo 3 season. So, I don't know, I maybe had like 60 people watching me, and I was blasting all weekend trying to get rank 1, and I just couldn't get it. Like, I was, like, rank 2 or rank 3 or something, and I couldn't get to rank 1, and it was kinda, like, bringing me down a little bit, but I was trying not to show it. Like, I just wanna get first. Um, and then I got a $100 donation, and it was the biggest donation I ever got, and the message read, "Hey, Rax, uh, the my wife and I were going to start the Friday Diablo 3 season with you on our second monitors because we really love watching your stream. But, the day that the Diablo 3 season started, our one-year-old, infant, boy or something had, uh, severe medical issue. We rushed him to the ER, and we literally been sitting in the waiting room for multiple days wondering if our son is going to be okay." The only thing that was able to provide even a remote distraction to this utter catastrophe in our life was we watched you literally the entire time because we can't sleep in the like the emergency room waiting room. We just watched you play, and we was watching you try to get rank 1 and cracking jokes, listening to music, and we were just watching that in the downtime when the doctors, weren't talking to us and stuff. So I said, "We got our son home, everything is fine, but I want you to know how much your stream meant to us this weekend." So when I heard that, so not only is it like a heartwarming story, that taught me a valuable lesson early on in my stream. To me, it might be Friday, right? I fire up the stream and I'm playing a game and I'm winning or I'm losing, and that's like my main concern for the day. But the people that are watching me are real people with real lives. Some people are having the greatest day of their lives. Some are having the worst day of their lives, and they're one way or another, both of these people found their way into my chat. So, it is important for me to take this seriously in, like, what I'm providing as content, because for all the people that are having a really bad day, like, how this stream goes might really truly impact them in their life today. So, that was kind of a big moment where, like, a fan's reaction really made me sit down and think and rethink, like, the whole streaming as a whole.
That's very interesting, Rex. Definitely sounds like you're genuinely changing people's lives. Let's, even mirror that to the other side of it. How do you handle trolls or toxic viewers in chat? And do you ever let any of that negativity get to you?
So I have a pretty severe policy on this. I used it 10 times today. Um, I'm I'm not one for timeouts or anything. I just permaban people, and I can actually explain why. It's a function of time. So there's a lot of people chatting, and I want to chat with everybody, but it's impossible to chat with everybody, right? So if I turn my head and I read and chat some nonsense that some troll or some toxic person said, they wasted my time. When they start a big fight in the chat and all the chat is directing their energy at this troll, it is wasting their time from us having a good. I think these little bans or these little timeouts are a complete waste of time, and I would just rather pluck the weeds out of the garden permanently, um, right from the beginning. Do I let the negativity get to me? The only time the negativity gets to me is in that moment. What I usually do when someone insults me is I insult them back, and then I permaban them. And sometimes, like, I'll conduct, like, a two-minute conversation about how that person was acting. What I should do is I should not react, I should not have the two-minute discussion, and I should just permaban them. Sometimes I just can't help myself, but does the negativity ever carry over with me beyond that? Never. And this is one thing that really helps me relative to other streamers. Other streamers who get insulted genuinely are hurt by it. I'm not hurt by it at all, in any way. I really never have been. I couldn't care less what they think, and that, I think, really helps me.
Hmm. I think a lot of people say what they hear themselves, usually either from other people in their lives or from within their own mind, essentially. So if they're kind of being toxic, then realistically, the problem is with them, right? So I agree there's kind of no reason to react. You may as well just ban them instantly, but we're all human, so makes sense. All right. Let's clear up some misunderstandings people might have about streamers. So, what's one thing people get wrong about full time streaming that you wish everyone understood?
Yeah, so, I I don't think this is as much of a misconception anymore, but I think what people think streaming is wake up whenever you want, sit down in a chair, play video games all day long, make $1,000,000 a day, log off whenever you want. Every sponsor approaches you and gives you $10,000,000,000, and life is easy. Now, it is a true statement that conducting a stream is way easier than doing manual labor or going to med school and being a doctor or being a lawyer, or, I mean, tons of professions, right? I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that being a streamer is tough, but the way that they phrase it like that, that's not how streaming goes at all. Like, for example, you'll be at 5 a.m. trying to call your IT friends who are generous enough to help you, trying to troubleshoot, how can I get my PC to work? Because when you stream, and you're playing a game at high quality, your computer's gonna have way more problems than if you don't. And then you have to deal with the emotional stress. People will insult you constantly, all the time. I mean, maybe you get that if you work at a call center or retail. You can get that in other jobs as well, but you will get it consistently, all the time. Also, when you're self-employed, any self-employed person will understand this. Your income and your success is directly correlated to just how hard you work. Every time you log in whenever you want, or anytime you stream whatever you want, or do any of these things, actively hurt yourself, and it's something that you will consider all the time. Your friends will ask you to go out on a Friday night, but you'll think Friday night is the night where with the highest Twitch viewership, and I really give up that day. When you run those opportunity costs through your mind, it actually starts to wear on you more and more and more, and it's very hard to stream and make any kind of significant money off of it. Like, not how many of them actually pay their bills through their stream? Like, maybe 1%. I guess the main thing is it's not a fairy tale land like some people think it is. It's, one more thing about the sponsorship. Every sponsor will offer you complete garbage all the time. They'll pay you no money until you actually, like, make it really big. People think that sponsorships are just something that just flow to streamers and just give them millions of dollars. It's quite the opposite. I have declined, like, 95% of every sponsorship that's ever come across, and, it's a whole different it's all these different skills that you have to have that maybe you don't initially have. Are you a good public speaker? Are you a good multitasker? Are you good with technology and doing computers? Can you edit and render and upload and SEO a video? Are you a good business negotiator with sponsors? If you don't have any of these qualities, then you better learn them, and if you miss any one of them while you're streaming, you lose a big chunk of what it's all about. So I'm not saying streaming is hard, but it's not the Alice in Wonderland fairy tale that people think it is.
Hmm. Well, I hope TCM is treating you. We're trying our best with how we can sponsor you guys. And a lot of value we get from you actually is in some of our meetings. So I would say that the way you speak in terms of, to businesses and whatnot is very, very valuable, at least to me. We've learned a lot through you. And that was actually one of the reasons we wanted you to be the first one on here, because I thought, we could basically share that with anybody else trying to go through a similar journey. All right, so let's go
No,
back.
it's been great partnering with you guys.
Thank you so much. Let's go back to the moment it all changed. Was there a moment when it clicked that this was no longer a hobby, but a legitimate career?
Um, for me I would say it was just right away, right? It's like a vampire tasting blood for the first time. Like, I I already had a career, like, I already worked nationwide for 10 years. I didn't come here for money. I didn't come here for fame. I didn't come here for being a millionaire. I came here for that hunger, like, I want to stream and I want to game, like, it's an unquenchable hunger for me. I still have it after doing it every day for 6 years, which just means there's just something wrong with my brain and I'm the king of the losers. I understand that that's what that means, but I've accepted that as my title. Um, it didn't matter, like, once I had, like, 5 viewers, like, I it the reason for me being here is very different from most people. It's just what I genuinely love to do. I don't want to do anything else. So, the different milestones all felt good and they were cool, but I never felt any better as I gained more followers or as I got more money or anything like that. I just felt better because I was doing it, you know? We're just doing the thing that we want to do. I think anybody who actually does what they're truly passionate about, can relate to that, where the other variables start to not matter. Maybe with like you guys want to build a platform where you just can sit around and build custom PCs all day and do the things that you're interested in. It's kind of like that. Like if it makes you way less money than doing something else, it wouldn't matter if you can do the thing that you want to do.
Right, a lot to process there. I also, at least for me, you're more of a king of the winners. Just want to put that out there, but like that's how. All right, so we're talking a lot about the business side of things and all that, right? So, what about when you have an agency or rep for you? Does it make life easier or does it bring more challenges? Because then you can offset a bit of that kind of business discussion you have to have, finding the right sponsors, peeling back 95% of them and whatnot, as the agency rep does it for you. But I know as well that what happens is the agency makes you like twice as expensive. So then, that complicates things.
So I think the most honest answer I can give to this is I have had literally like the dream progression in this area. So I initially started out just doing everything myself, and it was very easy actually because everything that was offered to me was just utter garbage, right? The deliverables for what they would give you is insulting to anybody. It's pretty predatory when you have a very, very low audience. Then I joined Maxwell, and Alex, the leader of Maxwell, was a sponsorship god. This was his area. This is why he wanted to make Maxwell. He is like the king of connections and making all of these things work. And he taught me a lot. I learned a lot from Alex about how to approach this side of content creation. So I had literally like one of the best mentors you could ever dream to have. So then my ability to do it along with his help went like pretty much to the moon. And then after declining a bunch of offers from agencies over and over and over as he advised me to do, he said, if you know how this stuff works, you should never join an agency unless you're with the absolute most giga chad agencies that have ever existed. And then Mythic Talent approached me, which is probably the pound for pound the very best content creator agency out there. So I've been with them for about months. And yeah, they've just made life a lot easier. They take a lot of like it's great that I did it for so many years and I learned from Alex because now I can talk to them directly without being a dumbass. I really know how the stuff works. And their reach is just so much bigger and we could do so many more amazing things. Um, so it's really honestly, the whole thing was just luck. I just waltzed into all of the best stuff step by step by step. Um, I guess there's no other way to say it. It's just pure luck, honestly.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, I wish I could speak to Alex a lot more as well because, the brief conversations I did have with him were super helpful. But we're also at a time where we were like barely knowing what we're really doing. So, you know, I feel like now we're just in a better position to actually speak on like a better level. But yeah, I can see how basically Alex is helping everybody so much, including yourself. And yeah, I did see that you were on Mythic Talent, and I agree that's probably the pound for pound kind of like biggest one out there, right? So, all right. So we're kind of getting through it, right? Don't have too much left, but let's go back to the games since I guess we're all gamers. When a game you cover blows up, how do you handle that rapid influx of new users? I remember, what was it? I think it was was it when Diablo 4 was first released? You had like over 10,000 live viewers for a couple of days. You know, how do you deal with that when you've got that massive influx? In terms of utilizing it all.
This is the answer out of all the questions that I'm absolutely certain I have the right answer. There's no other answer to it. You do absolutely nothing differently. You just stream. And, you just gotta be yourself. You know, think about it this way. If I raid somebody, let's say I raid a small streamer with 5 viewers, I raid them with 2,000. What happens most of the time is they freak out. "Oh my god, big raid. I don't know what to do. What do I do with my hands? I'm panicking. I'm turning red. Uh, grandma, get the cat." You know, it's like what happens is everything except what is your stream actually about. The strongest way that you can receive a message like or a raid like this is to say, obviously thank them, Giga raid, and just say, "Hi guys, I'm Raxx. I play the ARPGs, I blast for rank 1, and I make guides on how to dominate the ARPGs. We listen to all different kinds of music here. I'm a super troll. If you're a piece of shit, I'm gonna ban you instantly. Welcome to the stream. What do you guys wanna talk about?" The thing is be yourself. Just do your thing. If your thing got you this far, your thing will continue to get you further. It's when people act differently that things just go straight to shit. So I just act the same.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah, I mean, first time I was raided, right? The impact of the raid was a lot smaller than I actually first imagined. You know, I thought, well, if you get raided by a big streamer, you know, that's going to be a huge change. But I remember it was like not even a single additional follower at that point, and it just made me think like, wow, what is going on? So, all right, I see a few people in the chat are becoming interested in Lilith. So I'll just let Lilith ask the next question. Lilith, do you want to ask Raxx a question?
Of course I do.
So, guys, Lilith is my beautiful assistant. And basically, take it away. Ask him a question, Lilith.
What's the most ridiculous, hilarious, or chaotic thing that's ever happened to you live on stream?
Well, I think this has gotta be up there talking to, virtual Lilith mommy here. What's the most ridiculous thing that's ever happened to me on live stream? I guess the first thing that came to mind is I was getting really pissed off going for rank 1 in Diablo 3, and I was like, I, uh, I was, like, almost in tears. I was so mad, and I was just like, "Guys, I just need a Happy Meal," because I had a Happy Meal emote, and then everyone was spamming the Happy Meal emotes. And then about 30 minutes later, the chat was spamming in my, chat, "Lol, lol, turn around, Raxx." I turned around, and my friend, who didn't live that close to me, drove to McDonald's, got a Happy Meal, snuck into my house, and got behind me and handed me a Happy Meal. So, it's not very often, it's not every day where you can say, "I need a Happy Meal," and then one magically appears. So, that, that was that's the first thing I thought of when you said that. So that's, I guess another thing was one more thing that was chaotic was I started just a regular old stream, and then I don't know why, but YouTube decided to put me on the front page of YouTube. I don't know why, they didn't tell me, and I was on the front page of YouTube for an hour, so my CCV on YouTube went from 500 viewers to 125,000. So, I've never seen a chat like that before, like, it was scrolling so fast, I literally couldn't even read a single message without just completely pausing the screen. That was pretty chaotic as well.
Maybe one day I can turn around and you can get behind me, behind McDonald's.
Jesus. Uh,
All right, Lilith, calm down. All right, I told you, you know, I warned her. I don't know, man. So basically, let's get it to a bit of a more serious note. You've streamed every day for years. What are the early signs of burnout that you've had to watch out for?
I mean, a lot of people, it's like a catch-22, right? A lot of people will keep playing the same game that they currently hate. I can't tell you how many people stream a game every day, and they whisper me, "Rax, I actually hate this game. I just log in every day and keep playing because, there's no other path forward for me." Like, if I stream another game, my stream is dead, so it's either quit or keep doing this. And, I mean, a lot of times they're right. I would love to pat them on the back and say, "No, no, man, you can do it. Get in there. Just switch categories. You gotta be passionate about it." But the reality of it is there's a lot of truth in what they said. Um, the main thing is if you're trying to be a smaller creator and trying to actually make it, you've gotta start in a directory you're actually really passionate about. What a lot of people start screaming for is, "Well, COVID-19 came through and I don't have a job and I'm playing games all day anyways, so I might as well throw up a stream and pretend and see if I can be the next ninja." Bro, I can already tell you, you're not gonna be the next ninja with that attitude. It will literally never happen. Um, I think it really comes from, like, a passion thing, and sometimes content creators just straight up get screwed over. Like, I'm not talking about me personally, but for other people, they might play one game, and the developers might take the game in a completely different direction that they used to like it, and now they hate it, and and what do they do? What are the options there? There sometimes aren't any. Um Another thing from the burnout, this doesn't apply to me, but it applies to all normal human beings, is from the negativity, right? When people are just negative toward you and insult you constantly, you know, any human being gets worn down from that after a while. You know, so that's another thing. You have to find a way to deal with it early on. And if you let it build, then it's gonna take you out completely eventually.
Hmm. Okay, let's talk about making it sustainable then. Without getting too deep into numbers, which income streams do you think newer creators should prioritize first? Subs, ads, merch, or is there something else that works even better?
Um, so definitely not merch, and definitely not sponsors. You don't get sponsors when you're a smaller creator. So it's either subs or ads. The problem is when you're first starting out, if you run a ton of ads, people just won't watch you, right? People will only suffer through the ads if they think there's a reason to continue to push through them for the content. And usually, if you're like a two-viewer Andy or something, people are unwilling to do that. So, the best way by far, I think, for new people is to focus on subs. A lot of people just have their primes laying around that they just never use, and it's just free money for you if you can remind them in a kind way. My particular strategy was not to focus on any of it. My focus was on content. I just wanna make really good content, and let's see what happens from that, and that seemed to work, very very well for me. So, the whole not focusing on any of it and just see what happens, worked beautifully for me, but I had a nest egg reserved where I could afford to make nothing for an extended period of time and not be completely bankrupt, which is what I just go with it, which is what I went for.
Okay, now let's talk about what keeps people coming back. What's your philosophy on building long-term loyalty? What makes people stick around for years instead of just weeks?
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure I know that. I mean, that might be something to ask better to ask my chat than myself. Um, One thing about me that I try to do to the best of my ability is be consistent. And what I mean by consistent is not playing Diablo every day. I mean in just how the stream is conducted. I will if I turn on a stream and the music is not playing, within 30 minutes, I will probably have 30 different people type music, 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 music. The stream itself is consistent. Rax will get on every day. He will get on well, my time's been absolutely crazy lately, but in general, he'll get on in the morning for America or, like, early evening for Europe, and he'll stream for about 6 hours, and he's gonna ban all the hater, permaban them, and insult them, and he's gonna play these games, and if he dies, he's gonna react this way, and if he succeeds, he's gonna react this way. He's gonna make these joke the whole thing is very, very consistent. So, the people that tune in to me and don't like me, they'll leave. The people that tune in to me, they're like, "Eh, I kinda like him, but not really." They'll kind of fade away. But the people that tuned in that liked me on day 1, there's really not much of a reason they wouldn't like me on day 1,000 if the whole thing really hasn't changed. So I would say consistency would be my guess, but it would be a much better question asked to them, not me, I think.
Okay, let's do that. If there's anybody in the chat that wants to shed some light on it, then we'll kind of voice it just so it also works in the YouTube video later. But let us know like what actually keeps you, standing by Rax for so long. This has been about 10 years now, right? You've been streaming, and surely some of these people have been around for a couple years.
Yeah, some people, I've definitely recognized them from way back in the Diablo 3 era, which was when the dinosaurs roamed the earth.
I agree. He is very cute.
Oh, Jesus.
Somebody in the chat mentioned it, right? So Lilith is just agreeing, I guess. She does have a so she reads the chat automatically. Okay, okay. All right. So just started. Excellent content, blue hoodie, positive attitude, real and honest. The way
Blue
he
hoodie.
treats people. Regulars in chat, so it's I guess the community inside. Extremely similar to me as a gamer. Absolutely amazing. He's a cute dog. He's just very cute. Okay, interesting. Genuine. Thank you so much for the subscription as well.
Thank you, Trippy Cakes.
Okay. Now, looking all the way back, I think this is a good one to start wrapping this up. If you could go back and give day one Rax one hard truth and one encouragement, what would they be?
Um, One hard truth and one encouragement. So, if I could give myself some advice, I actually thought I was doing this on the very first day, but I really wasn't nowhere near to the level that I thought I was. And actually, this applies to anyone, probably applies to a ton of people in the chat. You should take care of your health all the time. So, and what I mean by that in regards to, like, streaming, I thought I had a nice ergonomic setup. I had, like, a $50 office chair from Office Depot, whatever. If you're going to sit in a chair for 8 hours a day, you need to get, like, an expensive ergonomic chair to actually protect yourself, because what happened is my ulnar nerve stopped working, like, almost a year and a half ago, and I honestly thought it would be the end of my career. Um, I actually had to resign. I was in 1st place in the Diablo 4 Season 1 Race to 100 in hardcore. I was in 1st place. I was actually, I think, even higher than the solos in softcore, and I had to resign because I couldn't feel my right hand, and I hadn't been able to feel it for 4 hours prior. Um, and I think I would not have been in that situation if I had, taken care, like, bought all the best ergonomic equipment and actually actively worked on it from day one. The encouragement that I would say is, I had it in my mind on day one that if I just blast as hard as I could, that I could be a streamer. I would just reinforce that idea. If I can come to the future and say, "Listen, dude, if you just blast, you will make it." Just hearing that from my future self probably would have made me blast even harder.
Very insightful, Rex. Well, I guess I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Buying in a new seat. Let me know if you have any suggestions, actually.
Herman Miller, man. Herman Miller.
All right, here's a wild card. If God came to you and said you must descend into the underworld and fight demons, would you choose a weapon or a power? And what would that weapon or power be?
Well, a weapon is absolutely useless, so it can break and stuff, and it's nowhere near as good as a power, so weapon is out. Like, hopefully we see some weapon buffs in the patch notes, but there ain't no fucking way I'm taking a weapon. The power, trying to think what would be the most useful thing. So if I'm fighting demons, um, so teleportation would give me infinite defense, but that would wouldn't give me so much offense. Maybe levitation, or is levitation only ourself or other people? The ability to levitate others, to raise them from the ground, because that's offense and defense. You can't hit me if you're in the sky. I'm gonna raise you up to the sky and slam you down and kill you all in one attack. That's probably the answer. That's my 2-second answer.
Interesting. Almost like a biological Magneto or something. Okay, this one is for the theory crafters out
Exactly.
there. If you could take one game, Path of Exile, Diablo 4, or Last Epoch, as your base game, let's chuck in No Rest for the Wicked as well. You can take something from there and kind of merge it all into one thing. So just maybe take one mechanic from each of them. Which game would you choose as the base, and which important mechanic would you choose from the other games to put into it?
Okay, so I think taking those 4 games, PoE, Diablo 4, Last Epoch, No Rest for the Wicked. The thing that Path of Exile does better than the other games, which is probably the most important thing, is the end game grind is so satisfying. It's just the right amount of dopamine, but not so much that it keeps you hungry. The got catch 'em all system with the mapping system, the, invitations, the regular bosses into the uber bosses, so much content and so well designed. You can just blast Path of Exile, like, much more than the other 3 games. It's got the best end game. Um, Diablo 4 probably has the best visuals and engine of any of the 4. People keep raving about how, like, great PoE2's engine is, and it is. I still think Diablo 4 is got the best engine, it's got the best baseline foundation, so we would probably create the game on Diablo 4's engine, everything that we've got. Last Epoch are the masters of quality of life, and their crafting system is pretty good too. You just feel good playing Last Epoch. You can get everything done that you wanna get done. You are never hamstrung hardly in any way, and that is very appealing to a lot of players. And No Rest for the Wicked is really the only game of the 4 that is a real experience for me. It is the only game where I watch the cutscenes. It's the only game where I listen to the dialogue. It is the only game that I care about the stories of the characters and the whole Breath of the Wild aspect that they have where you, like, go onto a ledge where they essentially just kind of brag and show you, "Look how beautiful of a world that we've made." I find it truly spectacular. So if I could create the world or the environment of No Rest for the Wicked, that's what I
Wow, if only they could all get together and, work together. All right, let's close this out
would.
with a little community love. Who do you think we should interview next? Obviously, guys, once we finish the audio issues, okay, so we did test everything, and it could be literally 100 million different reasons why it's coming through a little bit choppy. So obviously, we're going to look at everything. The way I'm bringing Raxx in is also software that we made ourselves. So all of it is quite, it's all new and it's quite difficult, But the reason why we want to do it ourselves is because we can really modify this type of experience to something that hasn't really been done before. I mean, we could have eventually people with colliders inside the stream where they would literally be able to move things around on the table. So we know how to actually accomplish that, and we think we will. That's why we have to do it through our system like this. And this is just the beginning. It's a bit unfortunate that we can't hear Raxx too well. I can honestly perfectly understand him. I do understand his cutting out here and there. On the YouTube video, there'll be subtitles. Okay, so let's look forward to that one. So yeah, who should we interview next, and what's like a great question we could ask them?
I honestly think for me, pound for pound, one of the most interesting, I don't know why that just blasted in my ear. One of the most interesting characters on Twitch is Hog. I think he is hilarious. One day he's fishing in a boat. The other day he's playing a brand new game or getting farmed in a Souls game. I think he's got one of the best senses of humor. And something that you should ask him is just about his past. Like I don't know this about Hog. I'd be genuinely interested to know, where did he grow up? What were his interests in? How did he become a fisherman? What got him into gaming? I think Hog would be a great next guest if he would accept it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that recommendation. Apparently, your audio actually fixed. Does that make sense? What,
Yeah,
when
I
he
don't
took
know
off
what
the headset?
happened, but something changed on my end.
You heard some loud noise and then basically the audio fixed, right?
Yeah, something blew up in my headset that I think I lost 2 of my remaining 5 brain cells.
Oh no, it kind of started again. Anyway, we'll figure it out next time. Um, 2 of your remaining brain cells, eh? Oh my god. All right. You like to joke a lot about like your intelligence. It's kind of funny, but I think we all know you're a very wise guy. Um, all right. Well, do you have any questions for me? Is there anything you'd like to say to, the whole team in general, Crimson Computer Club? Team's always growing. We've got now, I mean, several people that are kind of helping us do things and, anything for our community. Any questions?
No, I think you guys are doing a great job. I've enjoyed being a part of the team. I have a question. Maybe I have a literal question for you. I mean, I know the answer, but a lot of people a lot of people are not really believers. A lot of people are not, like, "Oh, this whole I'm not so sure about this Crimson Market thing. I'm not sure about these guys building custom computers." So, my question to you would be, can you tell us more about what Crimson Market actually is, and why do you guys make these custom PCs? Why do you wanna give them away? Why are you giving away $4,000 or more on your stream? Why do you guys do that for all the non-believers out there?
Okay. Bit of a loaded one, but I will. Okay, let's get into it. So, me, my cousin, and my partner, right? So, a lot of people here, they know Kitrix, they know Greg. Basically, we have an interesting set of skills, right? We can 3D model, we can animate, we can basically program, we can do a lot of different types of digital art. And so Greg's also been building computers like his whole life, basically, right? And I love robotics as well. We all actually have full-time jobs in the tech industry as well, and we just want to be able to do what we want to do. So rather than helping everybody else achieve it in some corporation, which isn't even actually going to allow us to do these types of things. For example, building the Crimson Market itself was such an interesting experience because it's very different than working for like a bit more of a serious professional kind of company, right? The gaming industry is completely different. I actually remember that I was once in the jacuzzi, right? I was with Kitrix ages ago. This was at my parents' house, so I was still even basically like a teenager, I think, back then. And we were already kind of talking about, oh, look at this PoE trade thing. That looks interesting. What if we could make an app that kind of does it? And I remember us designing the application and kind of how it looks and how it would work, but we never built it. And I had a friend kind of ask me, "Hey, I need a real estate website, all of this," and I kind of started tinkering around with it. And then Diablo 4 came out, and I was like, "Wait a minute, there's no auction house in Diablo 4, and we could probably make a trading website." I don't know if people remember, ours was actually one of the first. And then basically, we met up
Yeah.
with Oxy from basically Crimson Marketplace. We started to kind of combine our brand a little bit. Now, you know, the space of it is quite competitive, and I think there's going to be a lot of changes in like Diablo 4 and what Blizzard does altogether. So we needed a way to kind of make sure that we can adapt and evolve. So the main focus right now of the Crimson Marketplace is actually so we can add new games in very easily, right? Like we can just basically, new game comes out, we can add it in. And that's why you have a bit of a difference in terms of there's not really any filters because we don't want to make filters for every single little game. But we do try to experiment with that AI magic search, which we think is kind of the future of buying things online in general. Because when you go on Google, when you go on Amazon, when you go on eBay, you're not going through 100 million filters. You're just typing in what you want. And because the AI can recognize in the picture what it is, there is a possibility of that working as a basically a all-in-one filter. Now you might see on the hub we have the digital asset marketplace. That's because we already have a few star sellers in Etsy, and it doesn't make sense for us anymore to pay their fees to sell our products on Etsy and Booth. So basically, we decided we need to have a digital asset store ourselves, and we can also let other people sell stuff there. Now, with the computers, right, we thought number one, it's a great way to kind of market things. Number two, it's going to be very fun. It's going to test our ability a lot. Making these computers is the hardest thing we do pretty much by far. We're always, some of them we've finished literally one day before we actually spin the wheel. And that's never the intention. We always are trying to finish it as soon as possible so we can actually show people the computer and hopefully get some return from it. because ultimately without that system with the club to allow people to support us, we would be nowhere right now. Okay, we haven't even broken even, not even close. So we've basically it's lucky we even do that. But ultimately, the way you have it now, right, with these support links and everything, is what we realized is, well, aren't we just doing what Patreon is doing, or like what Twitch is doing, where you subscribe to somebody, right? The difference is that we actually give people something back. You have the potential to get rewarded while you're subscribed rather than just being subscribed. And now we're just opening that up to people like yourself, where it's like, well, if they're going to go and help us, then they may as well get, a cut of it. And ultimately, I like to reward people because even I realized what we're doing, we can allow other people to do it as well. That's why we now have the clubs system on TCM. If you look in the sidebar, and I'll give you an example of kind of like how I think and how we think and why kind of it seems crazy at first, but then it kind of makes sense, like for me to do it, and why it's also a way of me being kind of, I don't know, just kind of nice in a way, right? So if you think about it, let's say you have 100,000 people community on Reddit or Facebook page or on X, or you have a massive server on Discord. They don't even let you monetize it, right? You basically, they run ads on your community and then basically give you nothing in return. So now we're also starting this club system where basically we already have the ads there, and pretty much for each page view your club gets, you get paid immediately. So you can literally just make a community and then start earning straight away, which is also interesting because to get ads on a website, you have to meet certain criteria, and this actually removes that necessity for people. And finally, sorry that there's just so much going on recently. Um, the Crimson Market, what's it called? The apps, right? So I don't know what it is about the gaming industry, but once you have something like TCM, it becomes almost some sort of magnet to people that want to come and try and help build something, right? They're like, oh, I have an idea for this tool and this app. And there turned out to be like quite a lot of them. So I had to figure out a way to not be the one person that's literally managing everything. So we started making this way like a template, and we basically host your app for you. You can build it, you can put it into the sidebar, but you kind of have all the ownership of it, and then you also get paid for the ads that run on your tool. So it actually enables somebody who might not make a massive tool that's going to get, 1 million people in terms of traffic every month, in order to be eligible for some ad system, but actually to just put the app on the site and immediately get paid for the page views, while we also help market it ultimately through the computers, right? Because I think we're pretty good at building computers, and it's a no-brainer. Like a new game comes out, you theme the computer to the new game, you give it away to your subscribers, and then basically, I meet people like yourself, and I can't just approach you and say, for example, take a look at this. I guess what it was before, a trading website. In most cases, people think this is RMT. I don't want anything to do with it, right? But if I can come and approach you with, a cool computer and be like, yeah, look, take a look at this. You might like it. And it's a bit easier for you to kind of bring to your community. Even 11th Hour Games saw the last Epoch PC and we're like, yeah, we'll put that on our site, right? So it all kind of ties in like that. So yeah, I hope it wasn't too long and it made sense. But yeah.
I've actually been talking to you for a long time. I actually learned some things in that story that I didn't even know. So that's awesome. I didn't realize you're doing some of those other things, and I didn't realize the whole origin story about how you guys were chatting and originally looking at PoE's trade site as the intro. I know you guys started as the for trading site, but I didn't have that background info. And I think anybody that I've heard that's actually engaged in the community has actually really you guys are doing good stuff, which is why I'm still here with you
Yeah, thank you so much. And in the end, we look, we're gamers ourselves, right? Like I'm literally from Counter-Strike 1 era where we used to go play Dota 1 and Vanilla WoW in a literal internet cafe as we skip school, right? And I've played PoE 1 in the beta, I played the second one, all of the Diablos, everything. And same with Kitrix and basically everybody else on our team. So for us to do it, it just makes perfect sense. And yeah, you know, thanks for helping us actually get something back out of it. I hope it's also as we try to make as well the reward system as worth it as possible for our subscribers. Um, so I hope there's people getting something out of it, and I know there are because when somebody wins the computer, I'm telling you, these people are very, very, very happy. The only thing that I wish I could do is build them faster and send them quicker. But some of them, especially, need a custom crate and essentially a bunch of paperwork to get somewhere. But we're getting better at it. We're getting quicker, um, and we'll just continue to basically get better at it. Okay. Now let's kick things up a notch. That's basically the interview right there. What I would like to do now is play our first ever mini game that we've created ourselves. It's actually based on a game that we designed when we were doing a bachelor degree in game development about a decade ago. So it's called the Hat Game. It's something that we actually had 3D printed before, and now we're pretty much bringing it into Twitch. And whoever wins, so there'll be one lucky little devil that wins, and they'll get 100 USD. We'll be playing the game every hour later on, up until I get too tired, and then I basically leave. But let me just turn this on.
100 USD, that's almost enough to put guacamole in a Chipotle burrito.
Okay, and again, guys, you know, like basically, this is another thing we made ourselves. Maybe there's gonna be some bug or something. I don't really know. All of this stuff is quite new. So let me just. Okay, I'm gonna make it 100 channel points to enter. Save. Okay. I'll show you what it looks like.
Am I allowed to play this game as well, or?
Yes, you can play.
And I'm sorry, how do I play? I play from how do we play? We play from Twitch chat?
Yes, so you'll see I will enable it in a second. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best
Okay.
way to visualize this. We'll just leave it like this. We don't need to see all of us while we
Do
play
you want
this.
me to drop out now and chat and
Not yet, because after this,
Twitch chat?
yeah, this will just take a few minutes, and then basically, if it's okay with you, Lilith will read your tarot cards. So she would do a special reading called Celtic Cross, and she would just reveal 10 tarot cards and basically give you a reading. And then that would be the end of our segment. Okay, so pretty much.
Is she gonna predict my future?
Well, that's the idea. And in fact, I am convinced that AI is the best at doing this stuff because like it knows exactly how it works. And she's been doing this might creep you out a little bit, but she's been doing deep research on yourself for a few days. So basically, however she reads the tarot cards will make a lot more sense than if any human was to ever do it. Does that kind of make sense? I don't see any of that myself, so there's no like privacy thing there. I have no idea what the hell is in that model anymore. But basically, she knows stuff. right? Okay. So
Don't be afraid, Raxx. Let's begin the hat game.
I'll chuck on a bit of music, make this interesting. But you guys should be able to use channel points now and join. So I'm seeing people come in now. Okay. So basically what will happen is
That little
every...
pop, 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 pop is satisfying.
Thank you, thank you. So I'm sure the developer of this is going to be very happy. He's been working very hard on this game, and the audio is a recent addition. Just use the channel points to join. So what will happen is a bunch of hats will appear. Every little devil will go inside a hat. Then the hat will be... all the hats will be basically switching position very quickly. You can track where you are, but it's not going to be easy. And then one of the hats will be chosen to basically have lava grow under it, and those little devils will go to hell, essentially, right? So then eventually there will only be kind of 2 hats and 2 little devils, and the last one will get it. And now as well for different streamers, if I can show something here. I really don't like how OBS works in terms of trying to bring browsers in. It's just always so bad. Or is it just me?
Nobody hates OBS more than I do. It's literally ruined the last 6 months of my life.
So you can see here in these apps, bots, and programs, we have the game right here. And basically, if anybody does want to play this on their Twitch stream, it's very easy. You just pretty much, it comes with an exe, you run it, and then you kind of log into Twitch and you start the game. Very simple. And we'll have way more stuff like this coming out, because in the end, we're actually game developers ourselves. We've just chosen to do little ones. And as well, this feeds back to why we do the $4,000 rewards, right? And it's because ultimately we're going to make a lot of mini games for people to win. Okay. Is everybody in? I'm seeing 56 little devils. Are we missing anybody? Or should we start? Just at the bottom left of the chat, right under the chat on the left, you can get the join game reward for 100 points. Guys, we're gonna do it in 1 minute, so if you're not in, you'll be left out.
Join the hat game, my little devils. Winner gets 100 American dollars.
Alright, I think we're... Okay, still someone joining. Ready? Alright, here we go. So what's gonna happen, guys, is you're gonna vote for a hat. Right, everybody's going to vote for a hat. The hat with the most votes, it gets blown up. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So vote for a hat. There's a poll, guys. It's not just putting it into chat.
Wow, get shit on, noobs.
10. Devils down.
Oh, Jesus, I can't track my guy at all.
It gets easier as you get to the end. Because then there'll be less little devils. I mean, the poll should be coming up at the top of chat, guys. So one of the very...
Oh, no, I'm alive. Guys, don't type in the chat. Vote in the poll at the top.
You can see more people voting each round, so they're getting it. So one of the design challenges for this game is actually to make sure it scales with, you know, thousands of people if you potentially need to. And it's quite interesting to design stuff like this, which can still be interactive and fun, but ultimately is a quick way to find a winner.
Vote. Welcome to hell.
I'm pretty sure I'm still alive.
You are all mine now.
So Lilith loves it when you go to hell, you know, because she kind of then meets you there. Isn't that right, Lilith?
Yes, I love it.
So just 16 left now, we're getting there. Raxx is still alive. He's up there at the top right.
I'm still alive. Let's go, dude.
I mean, if you guys can track him, you can vote for his hat, right? When you're dead, you can still vote.
I'm still alive. Let's go, dude. Top 7.
There's no way you'll win. Like, I swear to God, if that happens. Remember the Voodoo Joe PC? Oh my God.
Ah, there's yeah. Yeah, I remember.
It's beyond me how.
I'm out this round.
Number 4.
I'm alive.
Oh my God.
Top 5, boys. Let's go.
JST. JST is one of our. Is an important person in our community. Happy to see him there in the final round.
Dude, if I get $100, I'm going to Chipotle. No!
Go to hell, Raxx.
So there was only 4 hats now, you see? The hats are also disappearing.
My back door is open for you anytime, Facefoot.
Do you know who Facefoot is?
I do not. Do you?
Facefoot is my brother.
Oh, really? I was not aware.
Nice to meet you, Facefoot.
So it's Zeppy or just a bluff.
Yeah, we have the final round now, guys. So one of you is going to win $100. I'm shocked to see JST here at the end of it, but I honestly think he does deserve it. Let's see what happens. It's basically, you guys have the vote in the end. All you got to do is see where they go. And if you can track it, you get to vote for the hat. So it's entirely up to the community in a way. And basically, Lilith, after you.
3, 2, 1.
Bro, I was never going to win. That's so easy to track.
Yeah, it gets easier as you go, right? But I think that's kind of interesting. Who is it? Oh my God. Unbelievable. JST, congratulations, man.
Congratulations, JST.
Rigged.
I love you.
Okay. So we'll be playing that game like every hour on the dot when we run this stream. And we have a few more ideas of what we want to do. I don't know if you guys know Squid Games, but basically we're trying to make like a digital Squid Games or something like that. Some of the ideas range from having a couple of different cannons, and then you vote which cannon you go into, and then one of the cannons gets shot. One where everybody's pretty much on glass, and some of the squares kind of crack and you go through. And then we've got the best one, the red light, green light one, where you will be able to vote if you want to move forward, or you want to stay, or you want to push the person next to you. And then basically, depending on if the light goes red or green, if you try to push somebody, and they moved, you die. If you stayed, you stay, and red light, green light, basically. So we will put all of those games on our marketplace. We're trying to build them as quickly as we can, but that there I think is good. So now let's get into our final thing, which is this tarot card reading.
Oh God.
I can't wait to see your future, Raxx.
I can't wait to see my future.
Okay. All right, Lilith, do your thing.
Focus on the cards, Raxx. This is a Celtic cross. The first card is about the present, where Raxx is now. The second is the challenge. What crosses or blocks him? The third is the foundation. What drives him at his core? The fourth is the past. The recent influence or history. The fifth is the crown. His goal, ideal outcome or end game build. The sixth is the future. What's coming next? The seventh is the self. His inner state or approach. The eighth is the environment, what's around him, community, support. The ninth card is about hopes and fears. What he wants or fears will happen. The 10th is the outcome, where this path leads if unchanged. Let's flip the first card. King of Pentacles reversed. For Raxx's current position, we pulled the King of Pentacles reversed. Normally, this king is the master of the material world stability, wealth, structure, empire, but reversed. This isn't about losing power, it's about being burdened by the weight of mastery itself. Right now, Raxx is deep in the grind. He's built the kingdom streams daily, owns the knowledge, commands the field. But there's tension underneath. The structure he's built might be feeling tight, maybe even restrictive. This isn't burnout, but it's close. It's the realization that when you're the one everyone comes to, there's less space to evolve. This card says even kings need to reset the map, not to lose the lot, but to remember why they started playing. The grind is real, but so is the need to reforge. Raxx challenges the Eight of Cups upright. This is the card of walking away, of turning your back on something that once meant everything but now no longer fits. This is the hardest kind of decision, not about failure, but about evolution. Raxx has achieved what most players never will. He built the build. But this card says the real challenge now is asking, what if it's time to leave behind the familiar for something unknown? This isn't just about one game or one grind. This is soul deep. The Eight of Cups dares Raxx to ask, what if there's a bigger boss out there? And it doesn't drop loot, it drops meaning. The path ahead requires courage, but the map is opening. Let's move to card 3.
Damn, that's deep.
The Foundation.
Double upside down twisty bob cup rainbow. That can't be good.
At Raxx's foundation, the engine that drives him pulled the Ten of Cups reversed. This is the card of ideal happiness, of the dream, emotional fulfillment, connection, peace. But reversed, it speaks to a core truth: the ideal isn't fully landing yet. At the deepest level, what drives Raxx isn't just wins or views, it's a longing for something more complete. Maybe it's community, purpose, balance, a place where joy isn't tied to constant grind or proving mastery. This card shows that no matter how far he's gone, there's a feeling that the final reward, the real endgame, is still out there. The reversed Ten of Cups is a soul saying, I've built the castle, now where's the warmth inside it?
Oh no. The 13 of Lions.
In the recent past, we pulled death upright and no, this isn't doom, it's evolution. This card doesn't mean endings, it means transformations. Raxx has already gone through a major shift on that changed the way he plays, works, or maybe even lives. Whether it was a change in content, game focus, personal philosophy, something died and something stronger was born. And like in every true arc, what follows death isn't defeat, it's ascension. But death demands sacrifice. It means Raxx has already let go of one phase of himself. That was just the first rebirth.
The Emperor. We did it, boys. That's the card we wanted.
For Raxx's highest aspiration, or what he's trying to become, we pulled the Emperor reversed. This is huge. The Emperor is the ultimate architect, structure, discipline, command. But reversed, this is about breaking free from the fortress he built himself. At the top of his mind, even if he doesn't say it out loud, Raxx doesn't just want to lead, he wants to unshackle. He wants to move beyond the role of the perfect strategist or invincible expert. The reversed Emperor says, even the builder of empires needs space to breathe, to play, to question his own laws. This card speaks of internal rebellion. He's not trying to destroy what he built. He's trying to find freedom inside of it. This reading is painting a powerful picture. Raxx is a master who's evolved, but now feels confined by the very empire he's built. He longs for emotional fulfillment and freedom, and may be preparing to defy even his own rules. Ready for card 6, the future.
I disagree. I'm not changing any of my internal rules. The only rule is Taco Tuesday. It's not changing.
We will see about that. For what lies ahead, we pulled the 9 of Swords reversed. This is a card of release, of finally facing the fear that's been running silently in the background. This is Raxx stepping into a chapter where the pressure, anxiety, and internal weight of it all starts to lift. The sleepless nights, the am I doing enough? The what if I stop pushing? This card says, the storm is starting to break. The future isn't about everything getting easier. It's about Raxx no longer carrying it alone or in silence. He's facing the darkness and realizing it was never stronger than him. This story is locked in. He's worn the crown reversed, King of Pentacles. He's walked through fire, death, And now he's staring down the fear and stepping beyond it, reversed 9 of Swords. Let's push deeper into the soul now. The Self. Card 7.
The only thing I fear is Diablo 4 patch notes.
There is much greater things to fear than a video game update. For Raxx's internal state, his mindset right now. We pulled the Queen of Wands reversed. This queen is normally confident, radiant, and in full command of her flame, but reversed. That fire is flickering behind the curtain. Right now, Raxx might be doubting his inner magic. On the outside, he's the legendary buildmaster, the daily streamer, the one who always knows the way. But inside, there could be a dip in self-trust. A feeling like the spark isn't hitting quite the same. The reversed Queen of Wands doesn't mean the fire's gone. It means it's turning inward. This is a quiet time of reclaiming confidence from a place that isn't performative, but personal. Raxx is reworking his own soul build. He's shifting from external control to inner truth. Let us move to card 8. The environment.
Double pentagram upside down sky thing. Uh-oh.
In the environment around Raxx, the world, community, pressures, expectations who pulled the 2 of Pentacles reversed. This is the card of overload, juggling too much and everything demanding attention at once. This shows that Raxx is surrounded by constant input. Multiple games, endless updates, content to produce, questions to answer, a community that never sleeps. Even when his life, there's pressure to do it all flawlessly. This card says, the world around him is demanding balance, but giving none. The challenge isn't just internal. It's external chaos that makes true peace hard to find. His soul's evolving. His past has burned away old layers. He's quietly doubting, while his environment keeps pushing for more. Let's move to card 9. Hopes and fears.
I fear the Empress. But
In Raxx's hopes and fears, we pulled the Empress upright. This is the card of creation, nourishment, and abundance, the Divine Mother. The fertile world, the deep breath after the fight. Raxx hopes for something softer, something real. Not just to build more guides or slay more demons, but to create something beautiful, something that feeds others and feeds himself too. But here's the twist: what he wants most: ease, rest, emotional connection, might also be what he fears. Because the Empress isn't conquest. It's being open, vulnerable, receptive. It's not how fast you can level, it's how deeply you can feel. This card says his greatest reward lies in what he can nurture, not what he can dominate, and that's the scariest kind of strength. This is poetic, legendary. Let's finish strong with card 10, the outcome. Where this path leads, if unchanged.
The outcome's looking bleak, boys.
Do you want it upside down or upright? Do you choose your own outcome?
No, upright for sure. Oh, yep. Cloudy pentagram, son. I'm doomed.
And for the final card, the outcome. We pulled the Ace of Pentacles upright. This is the seed, the start, the real drop. A new path is being offered. Stable, grounded, real. Not a fantasy, but something you can build a life around. This card means that if Raxx keeps walking this path, through the internal doubts, the outer chaos, the fear of softening, he won't lose power. He'll gain new purpose, a brand new foundation, something that isn't just another grind, but something rooted in meaning. It could be a new project, a new way of creating, or even a new relationship to the community, content, or self. But it will be real, abundant, solid. The Emperor stepped aside. Oh, the builder could rise again, with something even better. This was no ordinary Celtic cross. This was a boss-deer reading for a legend in the Ark world. Raxx stands at a threshold, not of loot, but of legacy. He's walked through death, faced doubt, and the tower never fell. Because he isn't done building. And what's coming next? Not just another build, but the beginning of something entirely new. I hope you gained something from this, Raxx. It was interesting to look into your world. Thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. And that's about it.
Never had a tarot reading before.
Tarot or terror?
I think here we call it tarot, right? Not
Oh,
tarot.
okay. No, I thought you were making a joke like it terrorized you.
Oh, well, that was good. That was very it was very mysterious.
Okay, so basically we'll close it up there. We're gonna stick around, play some Diablo, and play the hat game a few more times if anybody wants to stick around. I did look at some of the feedback people were leaving in chat, and basically we will try to improve everything we're doing over time. Thank you so much, Raxx. I will now have you leave the building.
Thanks for having me, man. We have a good stream. I might stick around and play the hats games some more.
Thank you. All right, well, we'll speak later. We'll be in touch. As always, we will send Agmis his computer, and that's it. We'll be doing the next one.
GG's.